Parties on Airbnb, a host's worst nightmare. You've probably seen the news reports and the pictures of wild parties inside Airbnbs. No responsible and reliable host wants to come back to their home to find the remnants of a party. So what can you do to make sure that this doesn't happen to you? What do you do if you find a party going on in your place? And is Airbnb doing anything to prevent parties? Tune in to find out. Welcome to another episode of Airbnb Uncovered. I'm Matt, the creator of Airbnbuncovered.com and Airbnb Superhost. On this channel, I uncover some of the best kept hosting secrets, as well as share with you everything that I've learned after hosting over 3,000 guests. My tips, tricks, and best practices, well, they're all focused on helping new hosts earn more revenue, attract the best guests, and to achieve Superhost status faster. If you're new to hosting on Airbnb, you are going to want to subscribe to this channel so that you can turbocharge your earnings. Let me start off by stressing that big parties in Airbnbs are rare. Airbnb has millions of listings and millions of guests staying in an Airbnb every single night. The law of averages tells us that on occasion things will go south. I mean, it has to. It's a law of averages. But it's shockingly rare across the board, and if you follow my channel and the advice in this video, it's highly possible that you can be one of the many hosts who never ever experience a party ever. And look, I'll admit that I've accidentally hosted a couple parties over the past 6 years and in 3,000 reservations. Luckily though, they were in the early days, and even more luckily, I've never had any crazy damage or police show up to break up the party. And you know what? These were probably really good mistakes to make early on, because I've learned from them. And probably from those learnings, I've avoided some bigger, more catastrophic event, which would have likely been inevitable at my size. Remember the law of averages. Now, when I talk about parties, I focus on two main areas: what you can do within the Airbnb platform and what you can do physically in your home. Now, towards the end of the video, I'll tell you what Airbnb is doing to keep party guests off the platform for the summer of 2021. And that, my friends, is going to be a huge help. So let's start with the first one. What should you be doing within the Airbnb system? Right off the bat, you need to ensure that if you're using instant booking, you have the additional requirements below the instant booking setting checked off. So that is, make sure that you have checked off profile photo, government issued photo ID, and recommendations from other hosts, as shown on screen right now. My next bit of advice is useful when dealing with requests and inquiries from guests. Review their message for any warning flags, such as questions like, will you be present during my stay? How many sets of keys can I have? How close are the neighbors? Now, not every guest is going to be this blatant, so you're also going to need to do a bit of digging around on their profile. Where's their hometown? How far is that hometown from your short-term rental? Do they have any past reviews? To help you do a proper profile assessment, check out my other video on doing mini background checks on your guests. You can watch it by clicking on the little I in the upper right-hand corner of this video right now. So now let's turn our attention to what you can physically do on your property to prevent parties. And for this, I'm a big proponent of technology-enabled monitoring. So that's Wi-Fi video cameras and noise monitors. To help you along with what I'm about to go over, I've created a PDF guide that you can download for free from my website that gives you an overview of the monitoring equipment I'm about to cover, as well as it goes into more detail and I tell you which tech I use and detail how easy they are to add to your Airbnb business. There's nothing in the guide that requires NASA-level science to add to your business, so please don't let the tech scare you. Starting with video cameras, and of course I am not talking about watching every single moment of your guest stay inside your home. That's a complete invasion of privacy. Plus, who has time to do all that? All you need is a video camera pointed on every single entrance to your house from the outside. You want to see who's coming and going from your house. You want the cameras to be connected to Wi-Fi so that you get alerts when motion is detected. Again, so you do not have to be glued to your cameras at all times. I typically set the alerts to off most of the time, and then I turn them on for a guest that I'm not sure about. When my alerts are off, I still periodically check the cameras to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Because, the alerts can be a bit annoying when they're from a respectful guest who is simply going about their day. Another piece of technology that I cannot live without is noise monitors. As the name suggests, these devices monitor noise. It is very important to note that these devices do not record conversations, as potentially Alexa and Google Home do. I'm just kidding. I don't really think those devices record conversations either, but you know what? The dark web sure does. But these devices, they're simple to install, and they send alerts directly to your phone when noise in your home or yard reach a certain threshold for a certain amount of time. And you know what? They're pretty smart. A loud movie or TV does not set them off. They install in such a way that they're hard to remove, and if a guest did remove them, you'd get an alert for that too. So they're pretty robust. Smart locks can also give you a window into what's happening in your property through the lock and unlock history part of the app. Although, you know what, this is probably the weakest form of home monitoring because all these devices are telling you is when the door was locked and unlocked. Although lots of locking and unlocking usually means that something fishy is going on, but not always. So it's really nice to have either the noise monitor or the video cameras or both of them to understand truly what's going on. And lastly, if you do have doubts about a guest, and that's normal, do an in-person check-in even if it's not your norm. Snuff out your guest on arrival, and if you get a bad feeling, cancel the reservation on the spot. I've done it before. Or, if you let the reservation proceed, be sure to go back and check on your property to see what's happening periodically. Question: do you currently have some kind of monitoring equipment in your Airbnb? If so, what kind do you have? Tell me in the comments below. This raises a super obvious question. What do you do if your guests are throwing a party? Well, you have a few options here. You can reach out to Airbnb and try to get them to get in touch with the guest to see if they'll shut it down. Or you could call the local police immediately to get them to assist you in breaking up the party. Or you can try to break the party up yourself. Or you could even hire a private security guard to come in and break up the party for you. If you go at it alone though, be very, very careful. You don't know what you could be walking into. Honestly, this isn't really advisable at all, especially when there are local police services who are often glad to help. The thing to keep in mind is that you want to get ahead of a potential party before your neighbors take notice and call the police. Being a responsible and reliable host means not letting your Airbnb business negatively impact your neighbors' lives. But if you have the monitoring technology that I just went over and have the alerts enabled, you'll be able to get ahead of the party before it even starts. Now, at the beginning of the video, I promised that I'd tell you what Airbnb is doing to prevent parties this summer. To help, They're targeting would-be partiers and not allowing last-minute bookings for entire homes. In Canada and the US, it goes a bit further by adding that guests under the age of 25 without many positive reviews cannot book a home within their local area. But they can still do so outside their local area. For the July 4th weekend, they're getting even stricter and not allowing one-night reservations by guests without a history of positive reviews, regardless of where they're from. And for guests from the local area without a history of positive reviews, they will be unable to book for a 1 or 2 night reservation for an entire home. So let's bring it all together. Parties do happen in Airbnbs, although it's ridiculously rare. If you're carefully vetting your guests and have installed some or all of the monitoring equipment I just went over, and that is detailed in my free PDF guide, you stand a pretty good chance of running an Airbnb business that never has to deal with a party. As always, I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you learned something that you can put into use into your Airbnb business. If you did, then please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've many other videos on my channel to help new hosts earn more and achieve superhost status faster. If you haven't already seen them, then what are you waiting for? Head over to my channel and check them out now. So until next time, thanks again for watching, and bye for now.